Yeah, it's a huge game. It's one of those games like where Ulster did the double on Leinster last season, home and away, beat them. The gap seemed to be closing, and then of course Leinster finished the season pretty strongly. Like they got the Heineken Champions Cup final and obviously bailed out in the semi final against the Blue Bulls in the URC, but Ulster season sort of petered out a little bit. And those two big wins against Leinster were quickly forgotten about. So they need to get back in the horse here. They had a half decent win against Zebra. They didn't play particularly well. A bit of ring rust maybe from having a break through the Autumn Nation series. Leinster hit the ground running again. Didn't have a huge amount of possession. Weren't completely dominating Glasgow, but they still racked up 40 points. And yeah, there's probably going to be a huge amount of changes in the side, specifically Leinster. We're going to see Tadhg Furlong come back in, Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, Ronan Kelleher, who's back from fitness as well. James Ryan, it's just going to be a colossus, a big pack. It's going to be fronted up by an Ulster pack going down to the RDS. And it seems that Marty Moore had taken off at halftime. It sort of slipped under the radar, that. Last weekend, we know that he suffered with a few concussions. It's a big loss as well when we're missing Rory Sutherland. He picked up a knee injury in the Autumn Nation series. So all of a sudden, your first choice, Lions loose head prop for Ulster, he's out injured. Your 10 cap Ireland international, who's playing out of his skin at the minute, Marty Moore, is he going to make it? Hopefully he does, but there's question marks over that. And it's going to be a huge test up front, but Ulster have just got to dig in and see what Leinster bring to the table, because it's going to be a ferocious game, very competitive, and super excited to see how both teams go in this huge game. It feels like all the teams are sort of tuning up at the minute. Everybody's sort of gearing towards the European rugby. It's going to be on our screens in a couple of weeks' time, but there's still an inter-pro derby to be played here and bragging rights. And of course, there's always the question, Sean, about are Ulster closing the gap on Leinster? Are Ulster going to become the leading force amongst the provinces? And last year they had an argument for that, because obviously they beat Leinster home and away, but now it's really in the balance. And I think a good win here by Ulster away from home yet again throws up all those questions. And there's a bit of change in Leinster. There's coaches that have been and gone. There's Johnny Sexton, obviously going to retire at the end of the season or after the World Cup. There's a couple of other players that are coming and going as well. So like Ulster seem in a very good position, very solid, consistent team that are performing very well week in and week out. But can they do it away from home against the biggest benchmark in European rugby in Leinster? And Leinster, of course, will have their eyes on European rugby the following week. So will Ulster. Ulster away to Seal, then home to La Rochelle. But I tell you what, this will be a great week's training for both sides. They'll be, anxiously, nervously looking forward to this match, because you have an absolute belter of a game in this game. The Irish coaches will be in the stands watching on. This is a stage where the cream of the crop really step up and the big players make a dent in the game. And Ulster need that. Ulster really need that. They need it so much more than Leinster. So it's going to be a cracker, and hopefully it's one of those games that is 30 or 40 points and there's no injuries and everybody comes through it with flying colours, and of course Ulster come out on the right side. But I think Leinster will be hurting a little bit last year after the home defeat to Ulster and want to right a few wrongs.